Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the Supreme Court has made its move, and they made President Donald Trump a very happy man. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear the case on the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship. This is a victory not only for President Donald Trump, not only for the Republican Party, but for American citizens. Because your citizenship and the status of that citizenship is watered down by people who come here, have children here, and they're not legal, and the children become automatic citizens. It waters down your citizenship, it waters down your vote, it waters down this economy, it waters down everything. And it was never meant for this. The 14th Amendment, particularly the part about birthright citizenship, was meant only, and the framers, they speak about this and they write about this. There's historical context here. It's not a guess. It was meant only for the children of chattel slaves. So those who were enslaved, their children became citizens automatically with this law. Because they weren't given the privileges of citizenship before that. It was needed at the time. I don't believe the framers ever thought people would come here and invent a tourism industry, a birth tourism industry, to come here, give birth, plant roots, and then say, well, you can't kick me out. My kid's an American citizen. I don't think they ever foresaw that being a thing. They probably didn't think that any party would be dumb enough to let that happen. But they did not envision the modern Democrat Party. I want you to watch this and let me know what you think in the comments.
Breaking news from the Supreme Court, where the justices have agreed to hear the birthright citizenship case on its merits. Joining us, MS Now senior legal reporter Lisa Rubin. On its merits. Surprised?
No, maybe a little bit as to the timing, but not surprised that we're here again. We all expected that this would happen. Just to refresh, Katie, you and our viewers, last year, or I'm sorry, earlier this year, it feels like last year, in June, we learned from the Supreme Court that they basically were kicking this case back to lower courts because the courts that had enjoined the birthright citizenship order, they said, had acted too broadly, that they had used what are called nationwide or universal injunctions, and they therefore had a directive from the Supreme Court. You're not supposed to do it so broadly. You have to think about how much relief you have to grant to the parties to make sure that the plaintiffs get all the relief that they're needed. But it doesn't mean, for example, that you have to enjoin a particular policy or a law nationwide. Now we're back because the plaintiffs heard that instruction and went and filed new suits. In one case, you had 4 states filing a suit against the birthright citizenship executive order, and another you had individual plaintiffs challenging it. And both of those cases together are what the Trump administration brought to the Supreme Court and asked them to use as the vehicle for hearing the merits of their attempt to eradicate birthright citizenship.
At the same time, this seems to be the most blatant violation of the Constitution, perhaps of anything that the president has attempted to do, to say that the Constitution does not allow you to be a citizen if you are born here in this country. The Supreme Court ruled on this back in the very early 1900s, I think 1908, and they found that if you were born here, despite your parents' citizenship, you are an American citizen. So could it be that this Supreme Court overturns that?
I don't think that it will, but let me give you the administration's argument. The case that you're referring to is called Wong Kim Ark. The administration's interpretation of that case is not that it extends citizenship to all children born in the U.S., but rather that it extends citizenship to those who have permanent domicile, those who are the children of parents who have already established permanent residency in the U.S. And they say that's clearly not the case for thousands of children who are born in the U.S. every year. They say that decision was never meant to confer sort of universal birthright citizenship, but that the decision itself uses the word domicile more than 20 times, and therefore we have all perverted the meaning of that case rather than their perverting the meaning of the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment.
That's really interesting. The other news that's out there is Letitia James.